Walk sign is on. Wait. 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 Walk sign is on.
Good evening. My name is David Borland and I lead Crossmen Productions. Welcome to the 2025 Crossmen Premiere Show. We actually have two events going on in parallel. The first is in person in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, where we are tonight. And the second is this live stream, and we're going to merge them together. When we're in stadium, while people are pushing marimbas around or moving things, we're going to cut away so that you can get some content about the show. We're going to have our show designers tell you about crosswalking, all the background with it, music selections, etc. And that'll allow you to meet some of the design staff also. Then on the field, we're going to introduce the local residents and parents and fans that have come to see us to each caption and to have them talk about their experience and demonstrate some things. And then we'll do the show, and then after that we have a couple core songs that we will broadcast so that you can see. So we're super glad that you've joined us. Thank you very much for being here, and let's get started. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the 2025 Crossmen season. So we began in November with a series of one-day and weekend camps, having it be an educational experience for those that just wanted to learn, as well as an audition process. Then in Lavernia, Texas, outside of San Antonio, we had our spring camps, January, February, March, and April, where we learned the show, we began putting the core together. Then about the 22nd of May, we came to Northeastern State University, which is where we are today, in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Northeastern State University is a wonderful place to be. We're so thankful to be here our third year in a row. The facilities are wonderful, the town embraces us, and it's just great to be here. So we have the premiere show tonight, and then on Monday we start driving. We drive up to the Chicago area, we've got some shows, we're gonna do July 4th parade, then we work our way back down to Texas, stopping at Little Rock and back in Broken Arrow for 3 days, then down to Texas, over to Atlanta, up to Allentown, and then over to Indy. So the members are super excited about getting on the road and sharing Crosswalk with you. We'd like to see you at every show. If you're an alumnus, we'd like to see you at our tailgate at every show. And if you're getting tickets for the shows, you can get them through the Crossmen website. That helps us out. We have all the seats available that DCI has. So you'll get your best seats through any of those sites. So we hope to see you soon at a show.
Hello everyone, I'm Ed Devlin. I'm the program director for the Crossmen. I've been with the Corps for 17 years now. I've had a couple of different roles, drill writer and now the program director for the last few years. This year, our show for 2025 is called Crosswalking. Back in September, well actually August, when we started talking about what the show was going to be, we wanted something that was going to be aggressive. It had different textures musically and visually, and it had a way to connect everyone through our process. And that's how we came up with taking all of the musical ideas, the visual ideas, and bringing it through using the metaphor of crosswalks as our design choice. One of the things that'll be cool is that we have 2 white tarps that are 100 yards long by 7 feet wide that will be in the front of the field and the back of the field, and that will give you the idea of the crosswalk. And we'll take things that will work across from the beginning of the show, which starts in the end zone on side 1, and it has a journey across the field. From side 1, it then moves a little bit more onto side 1, then into the middle of the field. Then for the part 4 is kind of the entire field. We use the crosswalk idea from the front of the field to the back of the field and basically 100 yards long. So that is definitely, you know, a risk in terms of the usage of the field. And then the show starts narrowing down to, for part 5, onto side 2. And then the core itself ends up on the crosswalk in the front. Color guard encapsulates the entire field. The design team, which is a fantastic group, who you're going to hear from in this interview process, Drew Shanefield is the brass arranger and has done a great job with working through all the musical ideas and giving us music that can be picked up different visually through different ways of moving. Tim Mikan is the drill writer, back for his 2nd year. He will talk about various ideas that he expresses in his interview. Juan Eriquin is the sound design and front ensemble arranger. 2nd year with us, he's doing a fantastic job. Him and Drew really lay out the groundwork of what the music is, and then Ray Uliberry writes the battery. And then Ray works with them. Drew's also the music coordinator of the program. Then we have some consultants that are fantastic. We have Al Ches, who's been with us since 2000, who gives us a lot of input. Then we have Jay Murphy, who has such a history in the activity with all his years at the Blue Devils. He contributes visually all the time. And then Mark Thurston, who is a Crossman legend, is with us to give us input and about the show, about the battery, all those musical ideas. Mark has added a great deal to us this season. So I think you're going to really enjoy the show. The uniforms are cool. We're back to wearing Aussies. Crossman Nation is going to be very happy with that when they see the Corps out on the field this season. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Well, as we get going here, I wanted to give you the opportunity to help out our marching members and the Crossmen organization overall. Tonight in person, tickets are $10, so we encourage you to donate as you can online. So if you text BONES to 53555, you could make the same donation our local people are, or do whatever you'd like. So that, again, text BONES, B-O-N-E-S, to 53555. Thank you.
So pretty much what we've been doing for the last month is training the students to just be prepared to get on the road and do an 11-minute show with really high quality all summer long. So a standard day for us looks like we start in the morning, we start warming up our bodies, we dance. We have a specific style here at the Crossmen that we're just trying to unify across with all the students. Then we start to move to our equipment technique in the morning. We all come from different places around the country, so this kind of month allows us to unify the style that we're going to be doing in the show. And so then for the last 30 days or so, we've been learning show choreography. And what we're going to show for you today is just one of our technique exercises that we've kind of been working on and getting these students nice and strong to be able to perform all summer long. So this is our spin medley. Just to kind of educate the audience on how to be good audience members for Color Guard. When they go in the air, they might not always come back in their hands, but we're going to clap anyway because that's always the fun, exciting stuff. But that being said, we've been working real hard all summer for the last month, and we're just really excited to hit the road, and we're excited for you to see the show later when we actually put this thing on. Next 40 minutes. Cool. Thank you.
Welcome back. There's a lot of ways that you can help the Crossmen and our members for the future. Our goal is to provide life-changing experiences, and unfortunately, with all the costs in the world going higher and higher and higher each year, it's really tough to do this. And a quick example is in 2019, our buses cost $115,000. Next year, our buses are going to cost $375,000. So the cost increase is just huge, and we don't want to keep raising tuition. In fact, we spend much over 2.5 times what we charge tuition for the actual member experience. And that gap is made up of a lot of different ways: fundraising, different businesses that we have, but also support from friends, families, and sponsors. So this year we have a number of ways that you can help. Some of them have some really fun ways to do it. The first one is called Sponsor a Dot. So you can go online on our website under the support area and sponsor a dot. So you'd pick maybe your historical dot number, the dot number of your daughter or son, and pick T1, maybe M3, and you can sponsor that dot. Then the members will actually wear a button that has our show logo on their uniform throughout the year. And at the end of the year, you'll get that button. You will basically be marching the show along with them for every show. In addition, this year, we're adding a feature where we'll also send you a video that highlights your dot in the drill design so you can watch where your dot goes. So for $99, you can sponsor a dot. The next thing is Aussies. As you know, we've brought back Aussies this year. We're super excited about blending our traditional Crossman look with a new modern look. The uniforms that Rachel has designed and the Aussies just go together wonderfully. So you can sponsor an Aussie. When you do that, you get a little miniature Aussie that are beautiful, and that's $250. Sponsoring a bus, we've already closed that. That was a way to get your name on the side of the bus. And then lastly, we spend a huge amount of money on meals, and we want to keep our members fed and healthy. So you can go to the website and sponsor a meal, Gatorade, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snack. So we'd love you to highlight that with your members. You see the social media pictures thanking the people that have sponsored the meals with special thank you or messages to their members. So join in, help our cause, and make sure that we can continue doing this in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, here we go with our next section, which is right in front of you, and they are called the front ensemble. They're going to be showing you what they've been working on and how they prepare for the season. And to do that is their caption head, Juan Aragin. Juan, take it away.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Juan Aragin. I'm the front ensemble designer and electronics designer for the 2025 Crossmen. This is the front ensemble right in front of you. It's a wide variety of instruments that includes marimbas, vibraphones, drum set, auxiliary percussion, bass, synthesizers, timpani, xylophone, glockenspiel, and everything in between. This individual front ensemble is one of the most special front ensembles that I've had the privilege to work with. It's an absolute honor, and what we're about to play for you is a actually customized arrangement by one of our front ensemble teachers. His name is Devin Johnson. Please give it up for Devin Johnson. He's right here with us. And you get started in the day by playing a lock sequence or a set of warm-ups. So today we will play Swiss Broccoli, Fire Shaker, and Grinch. Please enjoy the 25 Crossmen front ensemble. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rachel Montanez, and I am the guard and visual designer for the 2025 Crossmen. I'm also responsible for all the graphic design involved for the program, whether it be the merch, the uniforms, the flags, and anything else involved with the show. So the drum corps uniform shows our show logo right in the center. We have 3 lines that are parallel to each other that create this X right in the center of the uniform. It is to be reminiscent of a crosswalk. So you'll see 3 parallel lines that kind of meet right in the center. We utilize that sort of feel throughout both the corps uniform and the color guard uniform. The drum corps is in all black with white accents, and the color guard is in all white with black line accents throughout the entire uniform. The color guard uniform, we have a couple different variations. The idea was that we were playing off of streetwear, just because when you think of crosswalk, I know myself, like I think of a New York City street, where you just think of the types of outfits you see in New York City or just in a city setting in general. And so we played around with some layering and some different cuts of the uniform to kind of just feel reminiscent of more a streetwear feel. Other than our standard pieces of equipment, we are using a 6-foot tall, foot-wide plank to kind of bring a crosswalk to life. And so in our 3rd movement this year, we are dancing with planks, using these boards in all different sorts of ways to just, again, show that we are bringing this crosswalk to life throughout the program. Other equipment we use, other than our planks, are going to be just your 3 standard flags. The color choice comes from a stoplight. So we start with a green flag. Our ballad, when we slow down, we go to a yellow flag, just because what you think of what you do at a yellow light. And then we finish the show with a red flag that also brings back our like sort of X crosswalk sort of feel that you'll see on our show merch, you'll see it on our uniforms. And that logo is kind of the through line from show to merch to all the things.
We also have an opportunity to help feed the Corps with sponsor meals. You can sponsor anything from a breakfast through lunch, dinner, snack. We've had a lot of people already sponsoring meals, and even sponsor our hydration, which is an interesting fact. We go through about 3,200 gallons of squincher hydration during the summer. So you can imagine what it's like being out here from 8 o'clock in the morning. Pretty hydrated. So right now we're going to turn it over to the battery, and I'm going to introduce Blake Stanfield, and he will tell you all about these guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Blake Stanfield. I work with the battery here at Crossmen. Typical field percussion kind of involves 4 different instruments. We have our cymbals, we have our basses in the back, we have our snare drums up front, and then over here we have our tenors or our quads, is kind of a slang term. What the battery's going to be playing for you guys is a couple different exercises to get different muscle groups kind of moving so the hands are ready to drum and all the different ways that we ask them to. Cool.
like to introduce someone.
Hey there, everybody. My name is Drew Shanefield. I am the brass arranger and music coordinator for the 2025 Crossmen Drum and Bugle Corps. This is year number 5 for me. I came back after COVID 2021. I've been here for year number 5, not to mention 2 other years I was here in 04 and 05. So this has sort of become my home away from home, and I'm so happy to be with the Corps for the 51st year. The show this year, Crosswalking, is so exciting. Really energized. I gotta tell you, it feels like it's so custom Crossmen. Aggressive, in your face, with groove, with a lot of energy, a lot of punch. We got some screaming soloists. We have a kick and drum line. The sound design work is terrific. We're really up and running. As music coordinator, I work hand in hand with Ray Ulibarri, who does all the percussion design, all the battery in particular, and Juan Aragon, who does all of the sound design and the front ensemble writing. The 3 of us together, we really work, we really talk, we work every day. I gotta say, probably from September and October to the present day. The show itself, gosh, it's coming together really, really well. Today is June 20th or June 21st. I gotta tell you, it feels like we are on a path to do some serious performing this year. The show opens with the strains of Walk On By, a famous Burt Bacharach piece. Maybe some of you know it because it was done by Dionne Warwick and Seal and a few other R&B soloists. That's one of the main threads of the show, but we don't hang on there for too long, because we go right into this modern DJ named Louis Futon doing a piece called The Beginning. It's fast, it's loud, tons of runs in the upper brass and the mellophones, not to mention the drum line getting a chance to flex a little muscle, kind of make it a ta-da opening. I think last year, we kind of took an artistic slow burn to begin the show, and that was totally not the approach for this year. This year, we wanted to hit the ground running. Drum corps on the field, go. We're gonna make it happen. And we're really excited about it, and I think the members are really responding to it. Second piece, Charles Mingus, Haitian Fight Song. And when you talk about doing a jazz song, when you start talking about doing jazz music and drum corps, you can either go jazzy and Broadway style, or you can just take the deep dive into the groove. And that's what we're doing with Mingus. It's the deep dive. The music of Charles Mingus is really aggressive. It's definitely rooted in the blues, it's rooted in gospel, but it's got a killer swing. And if you know some of the Mingus music, it's almost written for drum corps. Entrance here, entrance there, layered entrance, all kinds of imitative stuff happening all over this musical score that we put right into the show. Triple tonguing, for sure, big exposure. One of the things that we're really trying to get into this year is the use of sound design to create a modern sound texture. So you're going to hear what we call our West Coast hip hop in the beginning of the show. And that's definitely a groove, and it's an aesthetic, and it's a mood that you're going to hear throughout the show. It comes back in Haitian Fight Song. It's a really cool breakdown. It's got a killer backbeat, all kinds of electronic sound design, but also drumline, front and center. Big exclamation points throughout the piece. Really cool, really intense. So we come up for a little air in part 3. We kind of cleanse the palette with some of the strains from the Rachmaninoff Second Symphony, which is going to be the centerpiece of the show in the next movement. But the third movement is really, in some ways, like a scherzo. It's playful, it's a little campy. It's definitely technical and quick, but playing Dave Brubeck on Square Dance and Oliver Nelson Hoedown really gives the brass and percussion a ton of notes, a ton of exposure. There's probably, in the middle of Hoedown, probably 10 seconds of some of the hardest, most technical stuff I've ever been a part of writing and been a part of teaching. It's going to be cool. The staging for it, the fast action dialogue, it's really going to be cool. I also said earlier that the piece is a little campy. It's got a little bit of a humoresque to it. So there's some elements of it which are a little lighthearted. I think it's going to put a smile on your face, not only in the mood and the way it looks, but definitely in the way it sounds too. I think you're going to be happy with it. In my opinion, the centerpiece of the show is our ballad, which is the fourth of 5 movements. It comes from Rachmaninoff's Second Symphony. We're really excited about doing Rachmaninoff. And at first we were like, wait, can we do Rachmaninoff with Charles Mingus and Burt Bacharach and the Funky Knuckles? And the answer is absolutely yes. The music just fits. It's so emotional. A lot of times in ballad writing in drum corps, a lot of times in ballad performance in drum corps, there's lots of like gimmick and shtick and tricks. This piece has none of that. This is just heart on your sleeve emotion. It's for the Crossmen, I think it's going to be one of the special ballads that's going to be part of the 51 years and even moving into the future. I think we're going to put our mark. I think they're going to put their mark on something very, very special. We're going to close the production this year with a piece called New Birth by a band called Funky Knuckles. Maybe it's a band you never heard of, but when you hear this piece, you're going to say, wait, is that a Matheny tune? Or is that a Snarky Puppy tune? This sounds like it was written for the Crossmen. You're going to hear it and you're going to be like, oh, this feels like Crossmen. I got to tell you, it is tricky. It's in 3/4, but we also play 4/3. There's all kinds of games that we're playing with meter and harmony. It's going to be really fun. And when we get the motor going, we get the drill velocity happening, we get the powerhouse playing going, I think it's going to be a really satisfying ending to what's going to be a great musical journey for the Crossmen. So I hope you enjoy it. It's called Crosswalking, and I hope to see you at a show this year. If you see me, please say hello, and we'll shoot the breeze some more. Okay? Thanks, everybody.
Over 100 on our roles on the staff, but they're all really talented, experienced, busy people. So we travel with about 44 at any given time. So now I think we're going to go and move on. We're going to have brass. Our brass is led by Dr. Libiendo. And I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Evan Moragovit.
Thank you. Hello, Tahlequah. How you doing tonight? That's right. First of all, before we get started, we want to thank the entire community of Tahlequah for just welcoming us all with open arms. We've enjoyed all the establishments, the eateries, the watering holes, everything has been fantastic, and you guys have a great community. We can't thank you enough for your support. We hope to be back many years to come. What you have standing behind me is our brass line. And so much like maybe your town marching band or your college band or your high school band, these are just standard brass instruments that you would see in any football stadium across America. We have the trumpets. Trumpets, hold them up. That's right. And then we call that God's instrument. Yes, I'm a trumpet player. And then we have the mellophones. Mellophones right here. And then we have our baritone section. And finally, we have our heavy metal group, the tubas. So, Dr. Ando is going to conduct just a few of our warm-up sequences. We have a wide variety of exercises to get our students ready for the physicality and mental game of playing a brass instrument. So, we're not going to play our whole warm-up. We're going to start with our flexibility exercises. What flexibility exercises are for brass musicians is much like stretching for an athlete. We use our facial muscles to produce sound, to control our embouchure, which is the musculature formation of our face that we create to create the right shape for the air to come out of the aperture between our lips, which we buzz to produce the sound that you hear. Hopefully it won't sound like that. And for flexibility exercises, their purpose are several-fold. One, they allow our students to be more limber, with their embouchure and allow them to be able to be freer with their flexibility going from note to note, particularly large intervals. It also allows them to play relaxed if they apply the right technique with a good centered sound. It helps with pitch and pitch accuracy. So Libby is going to conduct our flexibility studies. The next thing you're going to hear is our tuning sequence, which takes us also into our warm-up chorale. Tuning or intonation is something all musicians do to make sure we're at the same pitch level. The length of your instrument determines the relative height or lowness of a pitch, right? So the smaller the instrument, the higher pitched it is, the bigger. So when we have tuning slides, if our pitch is too high, we pull the tuning slide out to make the instrument longer, which drops the pitch, and vice versa. So if you're not sure what intonation means, here's a good analogy. An in-tune group will sound like a concert grand Steinway. An out-of-tune group would sound like, you know, in those old westerns, a honky-tonk piano. So this is our tuning progression with our chord progression. Thank you. Fantastic. You might be wondering why they're doing all those step outs. They do them when they take a breath. They step out of the arc, as we call it. It allows us to visually see if we have people applying appropriate stagger breathing techniques. That is, we don't want ever students breathing next to each other at the same time. That creates more holes in the sound, right? Also, sometimes we do step ups for timing of attacks. Because out in the field, which you're about to see, we want to make sure our feet and our tongue are aligned vertically, so we have great starts of notes. Our last thing that we're going to play, and Dr. Ando is going to beautifully conduct, is a chorale we call Primal. It's actually an extract, I think, from Gustav Mahler's Symphony No. 2. So we hope you enjoyed the brass line, the Crossmen brass line. I want to thank you again for coming out. It's a great crowd, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Tim Mikan, and I am the visual designer for Crossmen. This year's show, as you probably have heard, is entitled Crosswalking. And crosswalking at its simplest level is simply moving and how you go from one place to the next. And at a more symbolic level, it gets into maybe people coming in and out of your life and how you have different interactions with people emotionally, or just the entrance and exit of people at different times and different points of your life and your process. And to sort of demonstrate this over the course of the show, we use the impetus of a crosswalk. So as the core begins on one side and has to move to the other to get from point A to point B, there are several stops along the way. And so we allow ourselves to kind of see them in the course of their journey from, in our world, of side one to side two, or from stage right to stage left, where the group kind of moves through their time and through their space to show you various types of walking, through different styles of moving, through different interactions with one another, or simply by going from this place to there. And we utilize the different types of musical selections to try to highlight the different types of movement that you can use, the different styles of not just walking, but moving in general. So there's a great collection of sounds that I'm sure Drew Shanefield, our music arranger, has talked about at great length, and how the different inflections in those pieces and those musical selections kind of drive whatever the choices are for our choreographers. And my job as the visual designer is to try to connect those dots from the beginning of our journey to the end of the journey, and utilize the color guard and their choices to create some of these stylistic changes or differences, and along with the drum line and the brass ensemble, who also finds their various ways to move through our crosswalk through time. So the idea of crosswalking presents various forms of movement through different types of walking and styles of moving. The crosswalk is there as the impetus for all of those things to happen. So our journey through time is there to kind of be a vehicle for our styles of crosswalking. So it is.
Hi, I'm Juan Regine. I'm the front ensemble and electronics designer here at Crossmen for the 2025 production Crosswalking. As Drew had mentioned, we're very excited about this production. It's, in broad strokes, a homage to Crossmen and this organization for what it is and the modern take on that. And I think it's just a beautiful marriage between the two. We start with The Beginning by Louis Vuitton, and it kind of takes us into this Kendrick Lamar Walk On By-ish West Coast style of music. It's very fun, very fresh for the core. Electronically, we hear a lot of different West Coast timbres that kind of start on side one. So I took literally that side one end zone as the West Coast style. And as we kind of migrate throughout the show, we get into more like kind of East Coast sound, more like New Birth, more funky knuckles. The Walk On By theme, though, is kind of like the cell motif that is kind of used throughout the show thematically. If you notice the bum, 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 we use that throughout the show in all kinds of ways. Sometimes we invert it, put it backwards, sometimes we stretch it. It's a kind of a cool Easter egg to kind of watch out for. Definitely be on the lookout for that Walk On By motif.
That's kind of explored throughout. In the following section, it's super cool. We go into this more like electric double bass solo, cadenza, Charles Mingus, playing Haitian fight song. Kind of presents more of like an underground Crossmen kind of vibe to the show. Super cool to kind of go back to its roots, but in kind of different flavor. And then in the middle of part two, we kind of go to this dance break where it's completely different, kind of an unexpected thing. You take the quarter note triplets from Haitian fight song, and superimpose them into a bass break. It's super exciting. The dance choreography is really cool. Just such a nice moment to kind of provide something very different from what you expect coming out of that Haitian fight song. And then we go right back into it, and then kind of like just a punch and gun to the end. Big boomy sounds. The electronic soundscapes that you hear are like hard pan left and right. One of the cooler things is that now we have 4 speakers, and so we can really utilize that to really spread around the field and play with where the core is. It's just such an incredible time to be alive, right, with the electronic era, and I think Crossmen has really honed that in and is making it super exciting for this year's program. Then we kind of go into part 3 and kind of foreshadow the ballad, but then we kind of pull the curtain under and go into this hoedown and unsquare dance. Super fun, a lot of different kind of machine-like timbres to what the front ensemble is doing. It's super cool, very exciting, you know, kind of displaying like those different walks, those different feels. It's all very fun, and you know, the members are just having such a blast playing that. So it's super cool. Kind of go into more like this kind of, we call it the GameCube, like this kind of super fun thing that the keyboards do. Just such a quirky color. It's so unique, and I think also just Crossmen, you know, Crossmen's just known for just having so much fun. And then we kind of go to like an entirely different opposite kind of world. We're going to the Rachmaninoff Symphony No. 2. Just very luscious and kind of classic. And if you hear like the ending, it's kind of almost an homage to Russian Christmas music. So you hear like those chimes, you hear all these kind of larger than life colors, a huge timpani solo. Crossmen's known to have such great timpanists throughout time, and we kind of wanted to make the alumni proud right there, and also provide just a huge moment for the drum corps. Should be very memorable on the football field, so very excited about that. And then we end with the Funky Knuckles, the new birth piece, which is kind of a new birth to what Crossmen is doing, kind of going into this new era, putting it right at the end of the show to just kind of display this is the future of Crossmen. So you hear very futuristic sounds throughout, colors never seen before, little bursts of colors throughout, very impressive, very athletic. And difficult as well. If I want to say something about this year's production is just how the members are handling all that difficulty. They're handling it like pros and displaying their high musicianship and awareness to what they're doing at just an incredible level, to where it makes it designing really, really fun for the members and for us as well. And yeah, we end with a super large company front at the very end with 2 rows, just super powerful for the front ensemble to just really get in there and have a little bit of fun, you know? And that's what we do this for, is just to have fun, and really Crosswalking is just really cool music all put together. When the designers got together, we just kind of showed each other, hey, I like this song, I like this song. It's just cool music, and why not? You know, let's have a little bit of fun with that. It's been a long time in a drum corps kind of world where things are taken a little bit more seriously. This production is just straight up good music. Lots of variety in what we do. And also, it just is Crossmen. And that's what's so cool, is it's this new era where we can do what we want, but ultimately, it's Crossmen. Crosswalking 2025. Can't wait for you to see it.
Cheer as loudly as you like whenever you see something you like. That just pushes them harder. Corps International is proud to present from San Antonio, Texas, with their 2025 production Crosswalking, the Crossmen. The Corps is led onto the field by drum majors Malik Cepeda, Aubrey God, Anson Holder, Caitlin Jennings, and Maria Valenzuela. Drum major, is your corps ready? Crossmen, you may take the field in exhibition.
that's just to get better every day.
We're building a culture. You understand?
The improvements that I've seen just from day one to now is extraordinary. Imagine if you could do that all the way till Indy.
At the end of the day, all the suffering, everything that you do physically through the summer is all about what you can take with you for the next 10, 15, 30, or 40 years of your life.
Treat each other right. This is a family now. It's about us protecting each other, making each other better, and seeing how far we can take this thing.
One of the things we do during this live stream is announce our 2025 raffle winners. To give you background, we've been having raffle tickets purchased in the name of our performers, $25 raffle tickets. That helps as a fundraiser for Crossmen and for individual members for their tuition. This year we had 2,705 tickets purchased. We've taken all those names and put them into our random wheel here, and Rico and I will do the drawing to pick the winners. So the first prize, the fifth prize would be $250, and the winner is
$250.
Turn in.
Marlene Rodriguez.
Congratulations, Marlene.
Our first winner.
Okay, the fourth prize is $500.
Jonathan Richards.
Congratulations, Jonathan, $500. Third prize is $750.
Mary Mosher.
Congratulations, Mary, $750.
I do apologize if I mispronounced your last name, but if I do say your name, that means you did win something, so that's good news too.
Okay, our second prize is $1,000. Who's it going to be?
Elin Cordero.
Congratulations. And now for the grand prize drawing of $2,500. The winner is
Susan Gardner.
Congratulations, Susan. So we'll post all the winners in our social media channels. And if you are a winner, we'll be contacting you about how to get the gift cards to you as soon as we can. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining tonight. We hope you enjoyed the Crosswalking show. We're super excited about this for this year. The members are as well. So find a place where we're going to be. Come visit us at a rehearsal, come to a show, and we look forward to seeing you in person. Thank you very much, and good night.